up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another episode of the What the Fanboy Show. Happy Memorial Day to our American viewers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not that we have a large international viewing or
We do
audience,
have one.
but we have some. So it's a holiday here in the States, and I just bring that up because we've spent a lot of time together today, haven't we, boys?
We have most
Indeed.
of the day.
And an enjoyable amount of time, in my humble opinion. But hey, we're back.
Hey,
we hit
it's
episode
almost-
300 was last week.
What? That's crazy.
It's crazy. You
It was a
had
fun
me
little
second guessing myself there, Luke.
Actually, this week is 300. We're celebrating.
More celebration. Tyler, did you bring the whiskey back?
I did not.
Oh,
I could
we
have.
can't celebrate that.
You should have told me. I gladly would have.
My bad. So, yeah, 301. On to the next 100. So, we start now.
Can we do it?
Chop wood, carry
I
water.
think so.
I think we can do it.
I think we can. But before we get to that, before we get to episode 400, we're going to talk about some trailers. You guys
Yes.
have a list of some trailers that we got to see this week?
Outside of, I think the games trailers, right? We're not
Yeah.
going to mention those until a little bit later. But we had our first main full trailer for Barbie. I'm just going to say it. I think this movie looks amazing. I'm really excited for this. Thumbs up for me. I think this
Same.
looks really good.
So I've been pretty on Barbie just because I'm nervous about it. I love Noah Baumbach. I love Greta Gerwig. Their films typically aren't blockbuster crowd pleasers though. And so I've needed to see a full trailer, and this gave me a lot of confidence. It has some Matrix vibes, it has some Lego movie vibes, and I'm digging it.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks really good. Looks real funny.
So yeah, thumbs up for me as well.
Yeah, the little sizzle at the end with Gosling talking to the doctor is just so good. So good.
It looks super meta too.
It does,
so-
yeah. It looks like a fun time. And it's a loaded movie. There's a lot of people in it.
Yeah.
A lot of really
Yeah.
good people, I should add. So, really looking forward to that. I think the only other trailer that I'm aware of is there was a new Flash trailer.
Yep. The tickets are on sale now trailer.
Yeah.
I actually didn't see this one. Did it spoil anything that I should be glad I didn't see?
It was more of a mashup of the other trailers we got, and it felt
Yeah,
like
I don't think there's anything new in it. I think there's one little thing that could potentially be considered a spoiler, but I'm not going to say it for the sake of those.
I'm kind of surprised Disney.
Disney.
Hold on, I'm moving on. The Flash trailer, great. I didn't see it. Whatever.
It's a thumbs up for me. I mean,
Looks great. Can't
I think
wait.
this movie looks awesome.
Like
Yeah, I'm
2
very
weeks away.
excited.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Dude,
for
we
this
have a
movie.
nice 3-week run right here. We got Spider-Verse, we got Transformers, and then we got Flash.
And Indiana Jones, even though it might be terrible. I'm still excited for it.
What's in between Flash and Indiana Jones, though? Is there anything in between them?
I don't think so.
Good. We need a week off.
We need a minute to breathe.
Just. But I'm kind of surprised Disney didn't attach a new Marvel trailer to Little Mermaid or something. Little Mermaid came out this week in theaters.
Mm. Well, they had just released the Marvels trailer.
Yeah, and what else are they?
I was going to say, what's after that?
I think it's just the 2 shows in the Marvels and... Shoot. Now I need to just look it up.
Yeah, I can't.
There's been so much Marvel for so long, we've
And now we don't
completely
even know.
forgotten what the roadmap is.
Did we forget...
Or did they
or
delay?
did... Yeah.
Did they move it around again?
Craven.
Oh,
Technically
yeah.
Sony. The Marvels is the only one left in 23. Look up at 20.
That's probably
Deadpool, Captain America, Madam Web, Sony, El Muerto, Sony, Spider-Verse, Thunderbolts.
All right.
It didn't have release dates, so I don't know when those.
Well,
were
and a lot of
released.
it's going to be delayed anyways because of the writer's strike.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it really doesn't matter.
Those are my favorite articles now. It's like COVID all over again. Oh, this has been delayed due to COVID.
Oh,
it's
no.
Like, this has been delayed due to the writer's strike. And it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, we know.
Weird.
We know.
Weird. It's almost like without writers, you don't want to make things. Such a weird.
Crazy concept.
Yeah.
Love
I
it.
don't know.
Okay.
It's the ones you don't hear about where you're like, are they going to delay that?
Where you
Please
get a
delay
little
that.
worried. Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of those we'll talk about in news later.
Oh, for sure.
One specifically that I find super interesting.
Well,
That is also a Marvel movie.
Luke and I, how's that water over there, Luke?
It's quenching.
Good.
It's the
I should say
quenchiest.
before you guys talk about this,
What are we talking about?
Citadel.
Oh.
So before you guys talk about this, I
Spoiler alert.
will say I'm bowing out of this conversation because their early impressions of this show convinced me not to watch it.
Good.
So it was on my list. I removed it after like the 3rd episode review from Luke. I was like, yeah, I'm out on this. This sounds terrible. So I'll let you guys tell me if I dodged a bullet or not.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is Citadel is the
It's produced
super huge,
by the Russo brothers.
very expensive. When we say huge, we just mean expensive at this point. Like it's got way too big of a budget for what it is.
I think you told me they filmed it and then refilmed it, or did they
What?
write it and then rewrite it all?
No,
something. They redid something about it.
yeah. There were some comprehensive reshoots, I believe. There was definitely lots of rewriting, but I'm pretty sure they had already shot it. Most of it, at least, parts of it, and they had to go in and rewrite because things weren't... Someone somewhere didn't like something.
Well, they should have tried again.
3rd time's the charm. Look, this show tries to do too many things. That's something we say a lot, but and for a show, usually I feel like sometimes you can get away with it. You have 6 to 8 to 10 hours of television to tell a pretty complicated story if you want. And this, I think, just tries to be too clever with actors who don't have chemistry and yeah, I don't know. Luke,
You're 100% right. It fits an entire movie, almost like season of television into every episode.
Oh boy.
If this show, which I think is 5-6 episodes,
6, yeah.
was 6 seasons, I think it would be fine. But it just tries to do everything.
It really does. I hadn't ever thought about it that way, but you're right. Like, if each episode had been, like, extended out to be kind of its own 6-episode run, like, so you have 6 seasons of this, I think you could get away with doing all of these tropes, all of the...
Like, for instance, season 1 would end with, spoilers, Nadia finding out with using the needle to get her memories back.
Right.
Season 1 ending, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy though? Like now that you say that, and I think about the trailer looks like every episode would be this ginormous story.
Well, the show is every single James Bond movie.
It is.
If it was in a James Bond
It
movie, it was in this show. Down to the skis popping out of boots and skiing down a mountain.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
It's just structured horribly too. There's more flashbacks in this show than present day stuff.
Yep. They did not know where they wanted to actually tell the story.
Yeah. And I think it really struggles to let you know even which time period you're in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit in the last episode where in the past, Richard Madden's character, Kyle or Mason, whatever his name is.
It's
Those are both of his names.
Yeah, that's true.
He needs to get onto a sub to do something. In present day, he also needs to get on this sub and do something.
They do the same
thing.
The same thing.
3 minutes apart.
Yeah.
And they did it, and I was like, wow, they got there really fast. And then he was he doesn't have any memory, and he's skydiving like a champ, and I was just like, wow, he just has no fear now at the into the show. This is terrible. And it turns out it was the past. I was just like, oh. And then I had to watch it all over again.
Right, right. And yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think, and they even... What was that, Tyler?
Luke was hitting his head on his water bottle, and I was going, stupid, stupid, stupid.
Yeah, no, I think a show like this could be successful. I'm coming back to something I said earlier. Could be successful if you had actors who had good chemistry, or at least charisma. Stanley Tucci has a little bit more than anyone else.
You know what? I want to give props to Stanley Tucci real quick. He was really good at reading his cue cards. He was great at it. Just like reading his lines. Because I guarantee he did not read a script for this. His role in this is sitting in a chair and being interrogated.
And is he ever not sitting in a chair?
He's in that chair the entire series, unless it's...
Like episode 1.
He's in a chair or sitting in a car chair the entire
That's what
series.
I was thinking. I was like, any other time he's just sitting in the car chair,
I don't
right?
think he ever walks around, now that I think about it.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. So, but no one seems to be able to do any kind of performing, and it's just terribly disappointing.
And then it's just full of like tropes of like secret children and lost memories, and this is actually a family member, and like
Vin Diesel would be proud.
Listen, the stuff they do in Fast and Furious looks like a freaking Scorsese Oscar contender compared to this garbage.
Oh boy.
Because like they do something once and then they immediately do it again.
Yeah.
Like with secret children or secret family members. Like, because with Nadia, Priyanka Chopper Jones's character, she's like, it's actually my dad. And in the next episode, it's like, it was revealed that somebody's mom. And it's like, we just did this. We just did it.
And the episode before, or was it the same? It may have been the same episode where someone was like, and I have a child.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, it's, okay, good Lord, okay, do we need to do this yet again?
And
this show's making me mad.
The
I haven't
funniest,
even watched it yet.
So, like, I hated this show, but I legit, like, watch it because I wanted to just see how bad it would get. And honestly, it didn't disappoint. It was horrible. I don't often watch stuff for that reason, and I usually discourage it, but I fell for it this time. But there's, I think it's like episode 4, doing super secret spy stuff, and they end up finding this guy, and it ends with him going, why did you bring her here? She's a bad guy, or something along those lines.
Classic.
And then it ends cliffhanger. And then the next episode, it starts with that. Why would you bring her here? She's a bad guy or whatever. And then it goes flashbacks, and it ends right there again.
Yeah.
It's just like, learned pretty much nothing because already knew this stuff. And they
it's
try
all telegraphed so hard. They
try and be twisty, and it's just not.
No.
You're just not buying any.
Not at all.
Like, you watch the first episode, and I made the joke in our text, you could make a little bingo card, guaranteed bingos across the board.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also a show that I think it struggles to figure out where to use its budget and set pieces, because there are a lot of set pieces, but none of them feel memorable. Like, the only one that I remember is the
opening train.
No, I even forgot about the snow one, because it's so silly with the extendable skis. It's like it was trying so hard to be James Bond. And other than that, though, like, there's something inside the Citadel headquarters. There's the submarine thing. There's There's a train. But it just feels like for a show of this scope and scale, it does not leave an impression even when it comes to action. Because visually, the visual effects for the most part look pretty good. There's just it's just not that interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm. It's really hard to care.
Yeah.
And I do think it just overextends itself, even with its effects. It's a lot of green screen work.
Yeah.
Like even the mountain sequence, a lot of it is just like close on his face of him.
Right.
Moving like this, and then it's a CG double character going down a mountain.
Right.
It's like, man, did you not just go to a ski resort and film somebody like going down a mountain?
They didn't have any money. They'd already shot it. They needed to refix.
Didn't this show cost like $300 million?
It's one of the most expensive shows. That also might involve its spin-offs, which we can talk about.
Yeah, it ends with a trailer.
It ends in the most unsatisfying episode of TV ever. In the most unsatisfying way, with absolutely zero resolution, right?
Yeah.
We have no idea what's going on inside of certain characters' minds when the season ends, and then it's just directly into next up on Citadel Diana.
The Spyverse continues.
Is that what it's actually called?
Boy.
Yeah, the Citadel Spyverse.
Okay, so they've made Gray Man, which is one of the most expensive Netflix movies, and now they've produced one of the most expensive TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Season 2. I'll say this, and out of anything that would give me any sort of hope for this show, Joe Russo is directing all the episodes of Season 2. And I think that could help a little.
Oh,
that
being interesting.
That being said, like, why would anybody keep watching this? It's uninteresting. It's not an interesting even world.
No.
The coolest thing in the show, I guess, would be the backstop. And even then, they're just like, it's backstop, erase your memories. You got it back.
You absolutely, you lost your ability to do this because your vial broke. JK, hold on. We've got a backstop. We've got a backup of the backstop.
That sounds like a video game sequel where you lose all your powers. That's what it feels like.
It does. You're right.
That's terrible.
So
it really is awful.
I don't want to go into any more spoilers, just in case there's someone out there who wants to see this.
What are you rating it?
But I think we can rate it and move on.
I do feel a little bad just ragging on it too, because I have no idea what else these have gone. Did people like actually writing and directing have done it? Listen, they made an Amazon show and I haven't. So props to them. I broke my 3-episode rule with this, but I'm still giving it a dumpster fire. There's just really nothing that is good or interesting about it.
I'm gonna agree with you.
Oh boy, double dumpster fire.
Double dumpsters.
This is good stuff.
I was looking at things I've watched this year and things I've watched last year, and I'm like, even like these straight to streaming things, like could it fall in straight to streaming? Maybe.
I gave Mandalorian a straight to streaming. And
Same.
Has cool, interesting, fun stuff in it. It was just not great television.
Right.
This is just it's like having to go to the doctor and get a shot.
If I told you what this series creator's last writing credit was, what would you... If I told you it was the first live-action Ninja Turtle movie of, like, the Michael Bay ones.
Oh.
That's what they did?
That was his last writing credit.
Well...
I didn't hate that movie.
I don't either.
I don't really think it's
not
amazing.
Great, no.
And I think, honestly, Michael Bay might help a lot with that, because he directed it. So
it's entertaining.
I do think you have, with writers who do that jump between TV and film.
They might lose.
I
track
just
of pacing.
I think directors are way more involved. Obviously, on TV, you have showrunners, right? But I think just having that singular, and I know it's not just the singular voice in the room. You have producers, you have the studios. There's lots of voices in the room for movies, but I think just that the director, you have one director for that entire story. TV, often you'll have different directors for different episodes, and the showrunners are kind of ones who are there to hold it all together. But I just don't get that congealment, that gluey stickiness in TV that I see in movies.
So he did Wonder Park, the animated movie.
He wrote it.
He did the screenplay and story by.
Okay.
He did Citadel. He did both Ninja Turtle movies, and before that, it was Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol.
Oh.
Ghost Protocol.
That's what they saw on the resume and was like, all right, well.
I'm guessing he's one of several. Yeah, he's one of 3.
Yeah. Was this the guy who wrote the original script or the
The first draft?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I want him to climb the building. You're like, great. Can you write some stuff for him?
But yeah.
I like what you say, though, about one person directing all the episodes. Because in the past couple years, 2 shows stick out as like the greatest. One, it's also the same director. Haunting of Hill House and Midnight Mass. One director. All the way through.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. We don't have to rat on it anymore. I think neither of us would recommend it.
No.
I don't recommend it either.
Not with a dumpster fire, no. It's not a recommendation.
Tyler, by proxy, also does not recommend
Correct.
it. So, all right. We can move on from that and start talking about the Sony PS5 Showcase.
Yeah, so...
Tyler, you haven't talked in a while.
I have not.
Go for it, man.
I guess from a formatting standpoint for this, I'm not going to go through every single announcement.
How dare you?
I'm just going to say what I thought was good, what I thought was bad, and what is interesting.
Okay.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay, I'll start with what's bad.
And I'll tell you that you're wrong.
That's fine. We'll start there. I'll start with what's bad, or what I viewed as bad, just to get it out of the way. Number 1, foam stars. This is a unapologetically Splatoon clone.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite joke for this has been Sony. We have Splatoon at home.
Yes, dude, it is literally Splatoon, like to a T. The abilities are the exact same. This is bad show in my opinion. The next thing that is a game is the Street Fighter 6 story trailer. That may be a bold take, but I think this game looks bad. I played the demo. I didn't really enjoy it. Nothing about this trailer made me interested. And then the last thing that I will say is bad is I think the Sony handheld thing is really stupid.
Thank you for saying this in this section.
I think this is
if
really...
if you weren't going to, I would have.
This is dumb. And the rumor going around is that it has like a 5-hour or less than 5-hour battery life.
We have a Switch at home.
I know. We have a Switch. Like, this was like the Sony needs Nintendo's market thing.
We have a Switch at home. You can only play it at home.
So, yeah, you can only play this at your house. You have to be within earshot of your PlayStation.
Obviously, you still have to have a PlayStation.
And you have to have it on to play. I don't know. This is just a really stupid idea to me. I don't understand it. I will say, from a design standpoint, it looks okay. But everything else about it is stupid. I think it's the dumbest thing ever.
I'm sure it's more comfortable than a Joy-Con.
Probably, but you can also just go buy the Backbone, which is basically the same thing. And it's $100 instead of probably $400 that this is going to cost.
That's still a ridiculous price, though.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
Just make a good controller, Nintendo. Make a good console.
I just think this is funny. You know, this is the exact same tech that Xbox has been playing around with because they have cloud streaming, which is different. Obviously, you can play your games anywhere with the fast enough internet connection. But they do have a device streaming thing to your mobile device. I just think that it's interesting that they reserved I get that it wasn't this big huge reveal, but yeah, it seemed like such a poor hardware announcement for a year that has PSVR 2, and we're all wondering what's next for PlayStation, not what's next for
hardware.
What's not if it was a Switch competitor.
Yeah.
That's a thing. If I have to stay in my household to play this thing, why?
This at best is a blog post.
Yeah.
Don't take up time from your showcase where you have some pretty interesting announcements. This kind of this and the VR section kind of take away from everything else, in my opinion.
Those earbuds, though.
Oh yeah, they did have the earbud hardware. Why?
I don't know.
So you can.
They've had those forever.
So you can use it with your new Sony Switch.
Handheld. Yeah. I don't know. I thought this was stupid. I didn't like it. So those are the things that I thought were bad. Did you guys have anything to add to that in the bad section?
I won't say it's bad. No, I'll say it's bad. Expectations. Everybody's expectations building this up to just mountainous proportions of expecting every single giant
Sony IP
to have something new. That was bad, but that's more on
the community. I'll say this time though, I wasn't really in the Twitter spheres where this was being talked about a lot. So going into it, my expectations were, I didn't really have any. I honestly had kind of forgotten it was happening. And then I saw people, a couple people texted me, and I was like, oh, that's today.
Dude, going in, people were like, Ghost of Tsushima 2, maybe, God of War 3 announcement.
No.
Whatever Naughty Dog's next game is. And it's just Spider-Man.
Yeah. Spider-Man is your best case.
And that was great. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
And then not even maybe a day or two after, today. Oh, Sony's gonna buy CD Projekt Red.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My gosh, the CD Projekt Red is
nope. We're not even talking to them in that regard.
We are not for sale, were their exact words.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anything else you want to add to the bad section?
I don't think so. I'll say as a get over there.
I'm sorry.
Dude, I've had a couple drinks.
Luke's got a plastic water bottle over there.
Dude, I'm thirsty. This thing's almost gone.
Dehydrated. You talked about expectations, but I'll also say, I think the amount of third-party games that they showed was a negative. I don't know how
Xbox tweeted out look at all these great games coming. It was half their showcase.
Right.
So
which is funny because probably the Xbox showcase is going to do the exact same
thing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Again, expectations, that's on the players, but also what are you showing?
I will be interested to see if during the Xbox showcase, if they have coming to and it has everything. Because what was interesting about this is everything said coming to PS5 or coming to PS5 and PC. They were leaving Xbox out specifically. So I'd be interested to see if Xbox does the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I've never noticed that before.
I don't know. Their whole thing right now with EU, with the whole is we want people to be able to play everywhere. I mean, they do and they don't.
Not everywhere on your new handheld Sony.
Oh no, it's Xbox's side of that, right? Or is PlayStation saying that?
No, it's Xbox.
I was just say that's Xbox is saying that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So,
anyways, what's next?
I'll add that to the bad, the weird marketing stuff that's going on outside of it. In my interested category, I'll start with Concord.
Yes.
From an aesthetic, because that's truly, really all we're getting from this.
Mm-hmm.
It was here's a ship, here's a gun, light speed, the end.
I'm all about space stuff, so I'm interested in that.
What was that other... Sorry, I'm going to just derail this conversation immediately. There was I think it was it was either at Game Awards or maybe an Xbox thing last year that had a very 70s.
It's called Arc Raiders.
Yes.
Yeah.
This gave me like similar vibes, not in tone, but like, ooh, that kind of gets me excited.
Yeah.
Like the tone sounds cool. The
That was 2 years ago, by the way.
Oh my god, was it really?
Yeah.
That game didn't come out and I just missed it, did it?
I think they
It's-
said they were getting ready to do alpha stuff. I think.
Yeah,
Sweet.
so they went dark, kind of like what another game we'll talk about in a little bit. Did
Okay, cool.
ARC. There
Oh.
you go. Good job.
Cool.
That game.
Google fixed it for me.
So in the interesting category, Concord, Fair Games, like a heist-based extraction shooter. That seems to be the thing to do these days. I think this looks a lot like. Oh, there's a PC game.
Payday.
No,
Oh, I thought it looked like Payday.
it does kind of look like Payday. There's a PC game called The Finals. That to me feels very similar to this, but I thought The Finals looked cool, and then it was like only on PC, and I was like, well, that kind of sucks. And then this got like shown, and I was like, oh, well, this might scratch that itch. So I don't know that it's something I'll play a lot, or if I'll play it at all. But I thought the trailer was cool. It seems like an interesting concept. And then the last one I'll mention here is Phantom Blade Zero. Looks cool. Combat looks cool. Definitely not a game I'm gonna play.
Same.
I think there's a certain amount of space for me for Souls-like Metroidvania games. And right now that space is kind of taken by Survivor.
Great game.
Yeah, I don't know that I need
game.
to add anything to that.
Yeah.
But I do think the art style for this game looks really cool.
Mhm.
And I thought, highlight for me, in their kind of like little credits thing, it's like, this is the developer, this is so and so. They had a section in there for music. Like they specifically pointed out who was doing the music for the game.
Love it.
And I was like, this is really cool. More studios should do this. So good job on Phantom Blade Zero for that. So those are the three that I was interested in. I'll also throw in Cat Quest Pirates of the Caribbean.
Love it.
Caribbean. Is Concord doing? How much do we know about that?
It's a
Multiplayer game.
first person. I think it's a multiplayer FPS.
Oh, bummer.
Sad day, huh? A new PvP
Like-
multiplayer FPS from Firewalk Studios. Anything to add?
I'll just say that that's.
I mean,
that's on
it's so
my-
hard to just be like, sure, yeah, I don't know. Like the aesthetic was cool.
Yeah. So it's on my like Tyler. It's on my like. Oh, I'm interested in that.
Mhm.
And A, because I think it is a good trailer. But B, or an interesting trailer, a teaser. But B, I followed their development a little bit, and the team that's working on it excites me.
Okay.
So a lot of
Industry vets.
Bungie
Mm.
devs who are very integral to their Halo and Destiny FPS mechanics, their gameplay feel. When we talk about like how a shooter feels, that's really important. We've mentioned that in the past, and I think Bungie is one of the best at it. So to see some of those team members building other things, I get really excited.
The best at it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and move into the good category. I think I'll probably have a few extra ones than you guys will. So
Do you have a great category?
No, I do not.
A best category?
Obviously,
I think
that
we
would
could
be
make a best in
then
show.
Sony Switch. It's the
Yeah,
best
for
thing.
sure. I'll hit the two I think that are probably only on my list. Final Fantasy 16 story trailer. I think this game looks really cool, and I'm very intrigued by it. I probably won't get this one at release because there's so many games coming out in June. But it is one that I will be playing at some point. I think this game looks great. And it's a kind of a different step for Final Fantasy that I think they've been needing to take for a while.
This one would have gone into the interesting category.
Yeah.
It's like I watched the trailer and I'm like, that looks cool, but I'm not gonna play
Yeah,
it.
you're not. Yeah, I mean, if you're not a Final Fantasy fan, I don't think this is going to be the one that like turns you onto it. But I don't know. I think it looks super fun, especially compared to some of the other ones. Another one, Assassin's Creed Mirage. To me, this looks like a return to form for Assassin's Creed, which I feel like is pretty long overdue at this point.
Yes.
I mean, we've kind of known about this game because of the big Assassin's Creed anniversary. They were like, hey, Mirage is going to be a smaller 20 to 30 hour campaign with the classic mechanics.
Linear.
Yeah, linear story, one city. It's not going to be huge. And I welcome that shift after Valhalla,
Let's not
Odyssey, Origin. Like, it'll be nice to get back to that.
And the best thing about the entire trailer, they got the lady from The Expanse to do voice work in it. She's like a low, like smoky voice. I just love it so much. Her character in The Expanse is awesome too. She voiced somebody in Destiny, some racist robot.
Nice.
You're not wrong.
She wanted to kill all the Fallen, man. They were our allies.
Gotcha.
Messed up.
How rude.
She died.
Yeah, so Mirage for me is in the good category. And then this might be the last one that you guys don't have is Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater.
Yeah, I don't care about Metal Gear.
I would have put this in a category you don't have, which is the uninteresting.
Uninteresting.
It's like it's not bad, but I just find it uninteresting.
Yeah. I think this is. So I used to be really like I used to hate the whole remake idea, but with the success that they've had with these, Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear Solid, now gonna have a Snake Eater remake, which I never played Snake Eater, and I've heard it's one of the best ones. So I'm excited to get a chance to play it on updated consoles with better graphics, things like that. So that's interesting to me. Also, the Volume 1 thing where they're putting Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 in a collection and selling that in August. Like I'm excited about that. I don't know that I'll buy it right away, but it'll go on a deep sale like 3 months after it comes out, and I'll probably pick it up then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for more Metal Gear. That was one of the first games I remember playing as a kid. So really looking forward to it. I guess we can add a great category for later. I think we all know what's going to be in there.
The Sony Switch, dog.
The next good
handheld at home.
The next good thing for me, Alan Wake 2. Love Alan Wake, one of my favorite games I've ever played. Really, really looking forward to a sequel. There's some interesting gameplay stuff in this trailer too, where it looks like you play as some other characters.
Like FBI girl, yeah.
Really excited for this, especially coming off of Control, where Alan Wake is part of that story. Yeah, man, fire me up.
You know what I'm excited for? This most. Hopefully. I really hope they just have updated controls, because I tried to play the first Alan Wake and I just couldn't do it.
Oh, because the controls are so bad.
Yeah. It just felt so horrible.
Dude, there's a lot of
rough.
like older games that like if you look back on fondly, but then you try to play them again, you're like, what is this control scheme? And you can't fix it. Like there's no good way to map the buttons to get it how you want it. Like it's rough, man. It is rough, but
yeah, I'm hoping you also don't have to have played the first one. Because it's been 11 years. Like, hopefully, I can just go into the sequel and they'll be like, this crazy thing happened in this place. Anyway, here's this story.
Right. So, do you guys have anything else you want to add to the good?
I want to add one to the good.
We are adding a great category now too.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Neva?
Neva? Is that the one with the dying animal?
Yes.
Yeah, that game looks depressing. I actually was watching this and my daughter walked in the room and the animal died. And she was like, oh no. And I was like,
just sleeping.
Why do you know what that means? But yeah, this game
She's
looks
watched
cool.
The Lion King. She knows.
This game looks cool.
I really enjoyed Gris for his... I didn't play it a ton, but I love that art style, and I think that I'm just kind of excited to see what the studio does. So this...
Yeah, I think art direction, like there's a couple things in this showcase where art direction really stands out. This is definitely one of those.
Yeah.
I thought it looked really pretty.
Look, I'm we always joke about how Brett, myself and I, is not really into like single player games. I kind of am. I'm just into the smaller ones.
Like indies and stuff.
Yeah, indies and stuff. I don't play a ton, but whereas like something, like
Love Ori.
I love Ori. I think this Neva looks good.
Have you played Celeste?
So I've played Celeste. I am bad at it because it's a very hard game.
I haven't beat it just because I gave up, and I feel kind of bad.
But the other one that I want to throw here in the good category is Sword of the Sea.
That's what I was gonna add.
Yeah, this one looks cool too.
This is from the creators of Journey, which is a very old game now. That makes me feel real old to say it.
We're all old now.
But was kind of the game that kind of defined what it like this wandering kind of almost pathless, like it's a journey and you come across players, and this has that vibe but with some new mechanics, and I'm kind of excited for it. So you get to snowboard on a sword.
Yeah, I thought that
on a hover sword.
It starts and I'm like, oh, this is interesting, and then he's like in a half pipe, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Again, it's just one of those games. I put it probably in the interested category. I don't know that I'll ever play it.
Sure,
but I would love to watch someone play it in some capacity.
Yep.
Anything else?
I'll throw this one in the good category because I think I'm the only one. I think I care the most would be Bungie's second thing they had, which was they revealed the final shape.
The little teaser.
Yeah.
It was a cool teaser.
And it was really cool to just have Bungie even show anything, because I don't think people were expecting it.
No.
Especially anything really Destiny related.
Yeah, I think there was some heavy rumors.
Just came out.
Yeah.
But no, they had a little cinematic trailer and it revealed that Cade is going to come back for the final shape, which is really awesome.
It feels good
got me
emotional. And circumstances, right? Like the fact that Lance Reddick passed away. It feels good to be getting one of the three Vanguard back, and we still have Ikora, but she changed voice actors a while ago. I know for a lot of players that's not a big deal. For me, that was always a little bit of a bummer. I think the new gal's done great, but she's kind of, and this is more Bungie's writing than what the actress has brought to it, but she kind of has felt like this hollow shell. And knowing that we were only going to probably get another year at most of Lance Reddick stuff, probably not. Probably this season. Season of the Deep is probably the last season where we really get Lance Reddick as Commander Zavala. Having one of the Vanguard come back, this had to be in the works beforehand, but it's just a weird coincidence with timing, is my guess, and it does rekindle a little spark of like, okay,
yeah.
And I'm kind of planning on coming back for Final Shape anyways, be there for the last hurrah, but this made it even easier, I think, of a decision to be like, okay, I'm in for one more year.
Yeah, and all the Destiny boys and girls were like, it's always fun to see the Destiny community get up in arms and about a good thing.
Yeah.
Be like, why is this happening? How is this possible? Is Cora dead? Is this heaven like in Destiny world? And what's Cade is gonna be? Is he actually alive, or is he just in the Traveler? Blah blah blah. So it's really exciting to just speculate about it now.
Maybe the souls of all those who pass with ghosts reside inside the Traveler.
That's one of the things people have been saying. I think Cade is going to be the vendor for the final shape.
Oh.
I don't think he can leave where he's at.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Be interesting. Anyways, what's great?
Sorry, watching the Flash trailer that's playing during the Game
Finals.
7.
Yeah.
So the first one I'll put in the great category, because I think we'll spend a little more time talking about the other, is Marathon, from the other thing Bungie announced. Really, really slick looking extraction shooter, but incredible teaser trailer.
Just
music.
An incredible, well-made trailer.
Yeah,
Bungie knows how to do trailers better than anybody.
They're pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, no gameplay here, but that's okay. It's a teaser. They're going dark. It gives you a vibe of here's kind of what the art style is.
Yeah.
Here's a little bit what we want the game to feel like. There's this high
intensity.
tension and trying to get something somewhere, and then
I'm dead.
Something might
someone
distract
someone
you
stole
or-
it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, so like this fits into the extraction shooter category with Escape from Tarkov, with DMZ, with Hazard Zone that Battlefield tried to do, and so many others.
Didn't
But
the Division have Dark Zone too?
yeah,
Wasn't like full on, but it
it's
was
a little
like a
different.
little-
But yeah, it's
It was
kind
like a
of
junior version.
Yeah, it's kind of like you go into this area and you have to try to extract loot, but in these others you have to extract yourself, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think this looks really cool. The little doc they put out on it to talk about what they're doing, what they want the game to feel like. I think this feels more my speed than Destiny does these days. I love Destiny. I love the way it feels to play. I just cannot stick with it. And this feels like something that maybe I won't have to stick with as frequently.
Yeah.
That's really nice. I think they're like Bungie will add their touch to this, and it will work really really well for me. So I'm looking forward to this one. The final great thing is the thing that everybody knew was going to be great. Sony knew it. We knew it.
The Sony Switch.
Spider-Man 2. We got our first, look at some gameplay from Spider-Man 2. I think this game looks great. I'm really looking forward to playing it. I think what we got is probably within the first hour of the game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like this is kind of the kingpin fight of Spider-Man 1. But I don't know, man. I'm really interested to see where they're going with this game. Story-wise, this game looks big.
Yeah. Well, even just like the map looks like it's gonna be bigger because
Yep.
you're fighting in Queens and looks like we're gonna be going to Brooklyn.
Yep.
It's just gonna combine like going across the river, make New York feel even bigger, which is super cool. I have hated the complaints I've seen though about this, where people have just been like, "Wow, reused assets from the first game."
It's just
It's New York.
yeah.
Almost like beat for beat, except for like what Avengers Tower. It's not real. It's just like what did you expect?
I will never. I've seen like the people being like, "Oh, more of the same." I'll never understand people who are like, "I want a sequel," but they want it to be a different game, and it's like, well, no. Like they're gonna iterate on it. Like you can see it in the interface. There's some different things in this with skills with.
Playing as two Spider-Man.
Yeah, playing as two Spider-Man, the symbiote like powers that come with that.
Yeah, I guess even technically three Spider-Man because Peter Parker is not going to play the same as playing as
Venom infested
Venom
Peter. Yeah.
Peter, yeah.
So like there's I don't know. I just don't understand that complaint. I'm with you there. Like that it is really annoying. I wouldn't expect it to be too different. I mean if you make it too different, then you take a risk of losing the people who liked the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like there will be new abilities, there will be new features in the game that people will love, but from a 6-minute vertical slice trailer, people are assuming that they've abandoned everything they loved about this game. I think it's just or that they've not taken a chance, to make it better. I think this looks great. I think the set piece was cool that they showed us.
Yeah. I loved it. I was pretty hyped when I was watching it.
Yeah, I loved the Kraven design. Which I thought some interesting stuff about that. There's those rumors, like a few years back, about Kraven being from Wakanda and all this stuff in the MCU. But then, like in this trailer, it looks like he kind of has some interesting tech that's pretty different. And I was like, was it actually for this? I thought all the performances from a voice acting standpoint were really good in this. I loved the switching between the two Spider-Men.
And I really liked hearing Yuri Lowenthal be like the dark version.
Yeah,
of
being
Spider-Man.
like, yeah.
This guy seems like he can bite. So can I.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah.
oh boy.
Yeah. There's also like a little screen grab in the trailer where there's like a bunch of other villains and characters in this one too. This game looks packed.
Mm-hmm.
It looks big. I think the layoff between Miles Morales and this will be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really fired up for this.
I agree.
Yeah. This is gonna be awesome.
I've been silent because I picked up the first one on the PlayStation 4 like a year ago ish, and played, I don't know, maybe 2-3 hours, and just kind of couldn't get into it. This is not my style of game, and so I'm super excited to watch people play it. We kind of talked about that with some of the other games for you, Tyler. It's not one that I'll probably play, but it does look like a cool Spider-Man story, and I'm excited to see how it goes.
One of my favorite things about Insomniac Spider-Man games, since there's multiple now, the music in these are always so good. Like the Insomniac Spider-Man theme, I think is like one of my favorite themes for a superhero.
Dude, after I played the game, I listened to the soundtrack for
It's so good.
like weeks.
It's so, and then like the way they took it and kind of flipped it in the Miles Morales game is also just super cool. I don't know, man. They've done such a good job with this character. Gives me a lot of confidence in Spider-Man 2 and, moving forward, Wolverine. They're really good about what Insomniac's doing in the Marvel
Was
universe.
Insomniac doing the Wolverine?
Yeah,
I forgot
that's
about
their
that.
next thing after Spider-Man 2.
boy.
Yeah, so I feel comfortable with what they're doing. So yeah, this was great. I think this was the highlight of the showcase by far. They knew it.
That's why I
They
got
knew it.
15 minutes or
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
Yep. So good on them. I thought it was I would say it was a good showcase. I think it showed what it needed to show, which is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Still no release date though, which I thought was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, don't set
Just don't even
expectations
say.
that you can't meet.
Well, I love what Marathon did too. Going back to that, they were like, "Hey, we're gonna go dark. We'll pop back up when we're a little closer to release."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You're just like, you will not hear from us again.
Yep. Until we're close. So
In a year and a half, have fun waiting, boys.
well, and like, I wish more studios would do this, but we talked about Mortal Kombat last week. Mortal Kombat's like, hey, Mortal Kombat 1 coming out
Going on
in
2 months.
4 months. We'll be here. It's like, oh, okay. Like, more studios need to do that. You know who's really good at doing that is Nintendo. Outside of Tears of the Kingdom, Nintendo is very good about announcing a game, and then it's out within 3-4 months.
Sometimes.
Metroid, they messed up, and Tears of the Kingdom, they messed up. But,
You knew I was thinking Metroid.
but prior to that, like with Mario games, they don't really announce them. They just kind of come out.
But yeah.
They do a good job.
Indeed.
The Metroid Prime like remake thing.
like dropped.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, coming this week.
Yeah. Like they've done a good job. Like more studios should do stuff like that.
Yeah. Overall, the showcase gets like a thumbs up from me.
Yeah, thumbs up.
It was good. There's lots of things to be interested about, whether or not you're exclusively on PlayStation or play on Xbox or PC, because a lot of those games are coming there.
Yep.
But their exclusives that they showed, I think, are strong.
Yeah. As always.
With
Sony. They do a good
no
job.
surprise there. So, Baroque in the chat thinks Luke is secretly very excited for this Sony Switch.
He's already got one pre-ordered, man.
I already stole one. I've been playing it.
He was beta testing like
Yeah.
6 months ago.
You guys have no idea how good it is. Like, I'll be playing my PlayStation. I'll be like, man, I've got to poop. Pull it out. Just sit down on the porcelain throne, and I can just game, baby.
On your DualSense Switch.
Just game, yeah. It's just right there in my hands. And then finish, wash hands, obviously, soap and hot water. Go back out to the couch. And I might just stay on the Sony Switch because
Stay on that.
Just leave your
Stay on that
PlayStation
handheld till it runs
why would
out
I
of
want to
battery.
play on a 4K Ultra HD
television.
50-inch TV screen with a super awesome controller and
Yeah, man. Overrated.
want to play on this 6-inch LCD 1080p.
1080p.
And then my Wi-Fi goes out and it's like, yeah, it didn't save.
Bonus bonus
I
honorable,
assume that's what's gonna happen.
bonus honorable mention to the transitions in this thing with their logos and stuff. I think those were really cool.
I love.
I was
how
like
much,
watching them, I was like, oh, that's sick.
I just love how much Sony loves their 4 little.
Their
Oh,
buttons.
they are
Yeah.
addicted to them.
Yeah.
Like they're all over the PlayStation controller.
Yeah.
Like if you
That's the
zoom in
design,
real
yeah.
close, it's
Yeah.
the.
That's their design.
Yeah, it's
4
crazy.
buttons. I think it's just so
Some
cute.
graphic designer was like, "It's my time to shine.
I'm
I'm
about
going to
to
put them
pop off.
everywhere."
But yeah, that's all I have for the showcase.
Yeah.
They should make a waterproof Sony Switch so I can play in the shower.
Ooh.
Also,
Never
you just
stop
need
playing.
to put out a name for it, or else I'm just gonna call it the Sony Switch.
I hope that's what they just call it.
Project
just like F
Q
it,
is
Sony
the
Switch. I don't
the
know.
name right now, right?
Project
Again, that's like an
Q.
internal.
Project PU stinks.
Ew.
Because I can play it on the toilet.
Stinks.
Let's get on from the toilet talk and
Into some news.
into some news. There's not
a ton.
ton.
I have nothing written down.
I have 2 things.
I've got 3. So
Kick it off. What do you got?
Lionsgate confirms John Wick 5 is in development.
That whiskey meeting must have went really well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good.
No surprise there.
I'm excited. I'll watch it. Can't wait.
The franchise continues.
I'm there opening weekend.
Yeah.
Is
Is this one also going to be better somehow?
We'll see. They'll up the ante someway.
Yep.
Next thing, Deadpool 3 is filming. They've started filming amidst the writer's strike. And here's the interesting thing about this.
Is this true?
Yeah.
The part you're about to get to.
Yeah, since Reynolds is a credited writer, he can't improvise.
Why are they shooting this movie?
I don't know. But I don't know how that works. I guess because they can't make script edits.
Here's the thing. He wears a mask.
Yeah. They can just...
They just do a voiceover.
Yeah.
Later. They can film all their action and stuff now.
That's
the stuff
true.
that is, like, we know that Colossus and Deadpool are just going to talk here. Colossus can do his lines, and Ryan Reynolds can just say, macaroni and cheese is my favorite.
He can read his
side.
script, right? He can read his script, and then they can go back and
Fix it. Yeah.
replace it later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do it now when nobody's filming.
Get your movie out in a good window.
Yeah.
You won't have to
Start
compete.
special effects now.
Oh boy. Well, we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what this turns out to be.
Because there's another movie that's starting production here in like 2 or 3 weeks, and that is Venom 3.
Listen, we're not really.
Is there a pulse check on the writer's strike? Like, what's the most recent stuff? I've not heard anything.
Everyone's pretty much
sticking to their guns.
Line in the sand is there, and no one's really budging yet.
Oh, good.
Interesting choice to not budge. Oh, can they not afford it? Ugh.
Yeah, well,
Streaming's emptied the pocketbook.
Should we pay our writers or release terrible things so nobody wants to watch anything we put out? Or
at the same
on our
time as
streaming
we
service.
lock down on password sharing
Yeah.
and change the name of our app and
And make it a separate app download. That's the other thing with HBO Max or whatever. You have to download a whole new app now.
I did
Wolf.
not think that was the biggest deal as everybody thought it was.
think
it
That's
would
so
be. You know
weird.
who will
It's-
be a big deal for? My parents.
It's not on
And
everything
my-
though. It's
and-
only on certain devices, like for phone apps. Some people like their TVs would update automatically or something.
Oh,
Why would
Xbox,
you not
you have to download a
Just
separate
make
thing.
that.
Then
I think it
relog in.
depends on the
It's
store.
yeah, probably. It's probably store based.
Ooh.
That's a good point.
Also, I didn't even think about it. I just went and searched for the new app. I just assumed it. Maybe I'm just smarter than everybody else.
Guess so, because I definitely thought it would just update
too.
the basic client. I thought
Oh
that
my
was
goodness.
a pretty... Just change the color of the logo, drop the name off of it. Did
Dude,
the interface change? Is it pretty much the same?
It's pretty much the same.
Okay.
I did think it was super funny though when I logged on to Netflix one day and it was like, "Is this your primary account?" I was just like, "Yep." Sorry, fam. Like you're out.
See ya. Real
or
quick,
they can pay me $8 and
the actual news story with the
add an account.
with the Venom news that it was
Venom.
beginning to shoot Venom 3 is that it got a new director of photography 3 weeks before it was shooting, and it's the guy who did Justice League. So that's gonna make Luke even more excited for this movie.
What's his name? He did
Uh,
Game of Thrones too.
he's not done bad things. He's done some fine stuff.
Who's
actually.
directing it? Fabian Wagner.
Yeah.
Who's directing Venom 3, though?
It was a good-looking movie. Talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh,
movie
Kelly
looked fine.
Marcel is directing it.
As long as Zack Snyder isn't doing the cinematography, who will just blur everything. Thing got him.
So the writer of the
got
first
'em.
2 movies is going to direct the third one. Where have I seen another Marvel
Isn't it
movie
that
do
girl?
this? Yeah, Kelly Marcel.
Good for her. I know,
Remember
like,
when
I
Dark
didn't
Phoenix
love either
happened?
one of those, but like, good for her.
Remember
Like,
Dark Phoenix? They did something similar.
I do remember that movie.
But like the same dude who wrote the other 2 in that little trilogy was the one who directed the Dark Phoenix movie. That's the last time I
no,
remember
is the
that.
producer Simon Kinberg.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was Kimberg. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
He's like,
Similar
"Fine,
kind of thing.
I'll
though.
do it myself." I think that's cool though.
Yeah.
That like she read the first 2 and like, no, they're not great. They're not good at all. But like, maybe if she's just allowed to do what she wants to do, it can be better.
She co-wrote Saving Mr. Banks.
Oh,
And-
that's pretty good.
And wrote the film 50 Shades of Grey.
And
No
Fabian
comment. No.
Wagner also did cinematography for Overlord.
Ooh.
Fan favorite here.
Good movie.
in
That is a good movie.
On the pod.
It's
so,
a good zombie movie.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Tyler, did you have any other stories?
Yes, the Lord of the Rings Gollum video game came out, and
Yes, it did.
Daedalic Entertainment came out and released a statement apologizing for the game being bad.
Okay, this just shows you how much I researched it, aka not at all. I had seen some things on Twitter going around that was like maybe an AI.
Developed game.
No.
Oh.
The like their apology may have been fake.
That's
Either
funny.
faked or they didn't have someone to write it, so
I
they
know
had
John
AI.
Morant. John Morant AI apologized for the gun thing again,
Oh boy.
but that would be kind of funny actually.
Listen,
It's about
if
as
you
much effort as they put in development on this game too. So.
if you want to watch a real fun video and you have like 30 minutes, go watch Skill Up's review of this game.
Is it hilarious?
It's hilarious.
Nice.
Do they show like gameplay in it too?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It is awesome.
This game looks horrible.
Yeah.
I don't want to kick them while they're down, but Jesus. This is a mess.
You have no idea.
Like some of the screenshots I've seen from this game are. I kind of want to watch it on Twitch, just
Just to see.
It's like
I think like the horrible part about it too is like it costs $60.
Yeah.
Like, it's a full priced game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rough. You know what you know what else had a rough time this weekend? A little bit. The Little Mermaid overseas. It actually did fine here in America. Domestically, it made north of $120 million, but globally only made $185 million, which means
Boy.
they only made like $60 million outside of the U.S. on opening weekend.
I wonder why that is.
Don't know, but I wouldn't expect it to have a fantastic second weekend.
Yeah.
Especially with Spider-Verse coming out.
Yeah.
It's going to actually have competition next week. So between a already poor international performance, it's going to domestically get slaughtered by a family superhero movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I don't know. It's just an indication that people might be a little tired of live action Disney remakes.
Personally,
Even like
I think so.
Even like the people that it's targeted towards. Like, this movie wasn't for me, and I don't care about the original either.
Right.
So like, I didn't go see it.
Right.
But like, maybe little girls are like, I got the original. I like the original. It's good enough.
I don't know. My daughter's still at that age where it's like, is she ready for like the live action? Like, we'll show her live action Disney movies that we've kind of vetted at home, but like, wait, she shouldn't watch Beauty and the Beast. The Beast is scary.
People saw a live action Flounder and they're like, we've got Flounder at home.
We got Flounder on Disney Plus.
And then my last news story of the day, sadly, Tina Turner passed away this weekend. Legend. Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice.
Mm-hmm.
She was a goat. Rest in peace.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yep.
Dude, she ran the Thunderdome. What a badass.
True.
Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, baby. God, I love those movies so much.
Tyler, real quick, give us a Game 7 update.
Miami is winning 71-64.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna do it.
With 35 seconds left in the third quarter.
They're gonna do it. So much drama in this year's.
Dude,
They are
TNT,
now up 10.
they know drama. They're not lying.
Dude, the
You know
ending
who's
of
their-
Game 6
you know-
was
you know-
wild.
Dude, that game was hilarious.
You know who isn't affected by the writer strikes? The NBA.
That's
Clearly.
Their writers are killing it
They
right
write
now.
themselves.
I do love the writer jokes about sports. It just cracks me up so much. They're always really good. Like, I love the script writers are cooking thing. Like, that always just cracks me up so much.
It was really funny too when the NFL players would be like, "They really know what they're doing this week with the script, man."
All right.
All right.
Is that all your guys'
Jeez,
news?
Vegas is going to close it out tonight, too?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, buddy. So it'll be Vegas and Florida. I don't know who I'd root for in that.
Is this hockey?
Look, Boston could still win this game.
Yeah, there's still 12
There's
minutes.
Yeah,
there's
there's a lot
there's
of
lots
time.
of game time.
Yeah, a lot of
but
time left.
but I'd be down for that. I don't even watch the NBA, and I'd be down for that.
Jason Tatum's laying an egg tonight, which sucks for me because if he scores 25 points, I win $20. But probably not going to do that.
I would have
Probably
taken that
not.
bet.
Do you guys have any updates? What'd you guys do this week? Talk about some of what we did. Luke did a lot of fishing.
I did. I played a lot of games this week, but I also finished a show, and I'm about to finish another one. Probably the biggest thing I did this week was I kind of laid off on Zelda a little bit, and I played Destiny. They launched a new season, Season of the Deep.
That launched on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay.
So far, I think it's been really good. It's pretty standard Destiny launch. They launched a new Dungeon 2. I haven't done it, but
I've heard
from
good
what it
things.
seems, it's really good. I watched some people play it on Twitch when it launched, and I was having a lot of fun watching it. It looks really intense. Aesthetic is super cool. Especially when you get down to the final boss room, super cool area. I'm looking forward to playing that. But the coolest thing about Destiny this season is as you play the new seasonal activity or go into one of the playlist activities, you earn bait. And you can take that bait and go to little fishing ponds that are on some of the planets. And you stand there, and when the game tells you to hit X, you can get a perfect catch or just a nice catch, or if you forget to hit it, like I sometimes do, doing other things while I'm doing it, you just lose your bait, take your hook back. It's the most simple, easy, relaxing thing, and you can just earn a bunch of loot doing it. It's honestly just the best.
That's really cool.
It's one of the greatest things Bungie has added to Destiny.
It's such a weird
in
thing,
a long
too.
time.
You wouldn't think of fishing in
It's
Destiny.
so
but
unique.
yeah.
It's so not Destiny.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it would fit. But
Yeah.
They make it work.
I really hope a version of it can stay. I don't think there'll be 8 fishing ponds on several different planets, but maybe maybe you can buy bait with glimmer, and in the tower they can add a little fishing hole. Go mess around.
That'd
there
be cool.
and do something stupid.
Or catch shaders.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But that is a lot of fun.
Nice. I do have a Destiny question before you move on from it.
Yeah.
I know when Lightfall came out, there was a lot of him and Han about the story of Lightfall, and
Yep.
have they done a good job of kind of course correcting it through the seasons, or is it still pretty
It's still a little early to tell. This is only the second season
since the release?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is the first season really outside of the drop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lightfall launched, and the story was just
The first season is the Lightfall
What?
story. So yeah.
But like there was a season last season, and it was like parallel to that, and it was like back on Earth, and you're just rescuing hostages. And it started off really good, and then they killed Amanda Holiday.
Oh.
And sorry, spoilers, whatever.
It's
I'm the
fine,
only one that
okay.
plays anymore.
Yeah.
And it's just like it felt way too fast, and a lot of people complained that it came out of nowhere, but I didn't feel that. Like there's flashing lights in the room, and I was like, "Oh, a bomb's about to go off. She's about to die." Dies. It's- I don't know. It was okay.
Okay.
This season though feels like it could be really interesting.
Good.
And they're doing some like light fall content as well. It's like kind of starting to explain some stuff that should have just been campaign.
Like they're trying to add it.
They're
in
like
there.
because everybody's like, what the freaking heck is the veil? Because they never answered the
Well, I
question. of the whole
remember
thing.
shortly after launch, they put out probably one of those. It may have been a TWAB, but
Yeah.
they were like, "Hey, we're trying something a little different this year. We're trying to incorporate more of the campaign story into the seasonal storylines as well." So that's a big task, and I think they probably erred on having too little in the campaign. But I like that idea of still sprinkling things along the way, so it doesn't just feel like you've done a thing and you have to wait a year to do another thing, right? And then like there's these little mini side quests that you do along the way. That's a tough.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not on screen. That's a tough needle to thread, but you only learn by trying it. So.
Yep. And I think there's still more too. But I mean, we'll see. It's really hard to review Destiny without getting the entire year of stuff.
Yeah. I was just curious if they had really done a decent job course correcting, but like you said, it's still a little early.
Yeah.
Like it's only the first season removed.
I feel like we'll be able to tell a little bit more when we get to the end of this season.
And like into the next one probably.
Yeah.
Like the start of the next one. Yeah.
Over in the chat,
I'll follow up then.
Baroque says, "I can't think of a single video game that wasn't made better by a fishing mechanic." I don't like all of the games.
I don't
that
think I
know.
disagree with that.
I know, right? I'm like thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I think that's right.
Yeah.
I
Because
think
video
I
games are
agree.
supposed to be relaxing, and fishing is relaxing. So I would agree with that.
Like, I got 3 exotics last night.
Yeah, you said
I
that
fished for
Snapchat.
like 20 minutes.
That's so cool.
Just sitting there, kind of chilling.
This is how I win.
Yeah. And like, sure, I sharded all of them. Whatever. But like, I got Ascendant shards, and it's just really cool to get like actual good stuff.
Yeah,
from it,
like
too.
you get real rewards for doing it.
Yeah.
It makes it worth doing.
Yeah. The show I finished. In totality, the show is now over. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel aired its last episode this past week. That is just an awesome show. It's a great example of comedic writing. Super funny. Also drops those like heartfelt, this hurts moments. There's just a really good one this season too, especially because the main character Midge is pretty positive for most part. Like she's always trying to get her next shot. There's a moment where it just doesn't happen, and she just kind of like locks herself in the bathroom and cries, and you don't see that much from her. And it like hit really hard too, and I think the Maisel episodes, all the seasons trend in the same way, which is it starts off really good, kind of dips a little bit, and then the last like 3 episodes, it's like, oh wow, this is some good stuff. And I was really satisfied with the ending. I thought they did a great job. I'm gonna miss that show. Lots of shows ended this week.
Yeah, there's a ton.
Maisel ended, Succession ended, Barry ended, and then on Wednesday, Ted Lasso is gonna end. The end of an era. For all these
Crazy.
greatly well-made shows. I should say greatly made shows. It sounds terrible. I'm talking about good writing over here. But these well-made shows.
Yeah.
And then I watch Silo every week too. That show is awesome.
Looking forward to starting it.
Rebecca first.
Yeah. Well, we knew that. Cool. Is that it?
Yep.
Awesome. I'll very quickly just kind of hit on some things. I rewatched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Going into
What's up, Danger?
Across the Spider-Verse next week. Very, very fired up. That might be my favorite comic book movie.
Yep, mine.
Still playing Tears of the Kingdom. Still playing Survivor. Playing a lot of MLB The Show. Because my daughter kind of asks me to a lot, which is kind of awesome.
Dana's like,
she actually got to see that happen today. She's like, oh man, she really does ask me. I'm like, yeah, I'm not kidding.
I'm not lying just to play more video games.
I was like, I didn't think I'd get tired of being asked to play a video game, but I'm kind of getting tired of it.
I think that's a sign of your age.
Probably.
Yeah.
And then for those of you who've been listening for a while, I've been keeping up with the DC animated Tomorrowverse films.
You watched Legion of Superheroes?
I did watch Legion of Superheroes, yeah. This is definitely a Supergirl movie first, which makes sense if you've followed the Legion. But yeah, it's a Supergirl movie. She's on Earth. She's struggling with kind of caring about destroying things like that. And Batman and Superman decide that she probably needs to go train, so Clark sets her up with the Legion of Superheroes, and drama ensues.
Nice.
The Brainiac 5 is cool, Mon-El's cool, Saturn Girl's cool. Like, there's a lot of cool heroes and stuff, but none of them really get their due because it's a Supergirl movie, which kind of sucks. Mon-El and Brainiac 5 probably get the most out of the Legion, which makes sense. But all in all, it's just all right. Like, it's a Matthew McConaughey. There's some really cool stuff in here. I think there's a better movie in this movie somewhere. But it's really short. Like, it's an hour and 18 minutes, and there's 6 characters. So you just never really feel like you're getting anywhere. Like, you get to the end of this movie, and the final big bad thing is revealed, and you have 15 minutes left. Like, we have to wrap this up now. So you get a fight scene between 2 characters, and then
for the fight scene.
You get a monologue from the bad guy, and then it ends. And you're like, oh, hey, all right, this is that's the end. That's the end. And then there's a post-credit teasing up Warworld.
Nice.
Which is cool.
Sweet.
It's gonna be nuts.
Mongol?
You don't see him, but
probably.
It's Warworld, yeah. And that the Justice League will be without a few of their important heroes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so.
Oh dear.
But no, lots of good heroes in it. Matt Bomber is a really good Flash. He's really good. So when he shows up, you're like, nice. But yeah, it's just okay. I will say this one is extremely pretty. This animation style has really grown on me. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for me.
It's on Max too. I need to watch it.
I don't need to, but I mean,
I like to watch all
if you've watched them all, then yeah, absolutely.
I like to stay caught up.
There's some decent stuff in there. I think it's probably pretty close to on par with the Green Lantern one.
Okay, that was fine.
Yeah, it's not great. They're not the Long Halloweens. They're not Man of Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the Justice Society one. I like the Justice Society one a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But they're fine. They're the smaller heroes of the groups, so.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, I haven't finished anything new in the last week, so I don't have much to talk about. I hopped back on, played some Halo Infinite. Still really enjoy that game.
It's good.
It's fun to hop on for a couple hours, and because I can play it by myself, I'm pretty malleable to whatever my team needs. Sometimes it sucks, but sometimes it's really fun.
We need an absolute gamer.
But yeah, lot to talk about next week as we review Spider-Verse, and we'll talk. I'll probably talk about Love and Death. And was there something else we were finishing?
Is that ending this week?
I think so.
The last episode of White House Plumbers is coming out this week. That's a show I've been watching.
I watched the first 2 episodes. I need to catch up.
That show is so hilarious.
Yeah.
And I'll say this. I started it and I was like, this feels weird.
Yeah.
And it's totally intentional.
Yeah.
It almost feels like a parody. And they kind of also reveal it like it might be the pre-credits or the end credits, but they're like, we don't really know what happened with all this. We're kind of making it up. We just know all these people went to jail.
Yeah.
And the characters are so hilarious. Freaking Justin Theroux is making me laugh so much. His character is such an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it is so funny. So I would recommend if you have Max, formerly known as HBO Max, formerly known as HBO.
Your move, Peacock.
Yeah, we want P. Right?
Yeah. For sure.
That show's a lot of fun. It's only 5 episodes, I think, too. It's a really short, limited series.
Yep.
The number of episodes you need to tell your story and
Yep. Don't overstay your welcome.
And you know what? While we're just talking about limited series on Max, why don't you just go watch Chernobyl? You know, why not?
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
Why not?
You're not wrong.
what is that, 4-episode series?
6? It is
no,
not,
I think it's 4 or 5.
It is not more than 6. I'll just say
No,
that. It's
definitely
short.
not.
5.
5. The other one that we've been watching, not together, Luke, but we've both been watching Silo
Stuff.
on Apple TV, and we're both really enjoying that. So
Yeah, Luke said that.
I was totally not listening.
Thank you for not listening.
My bad.
It's because he's only couldn't hear.
Mhm.
You're so far away over there.
Mhm. I know why you didn't hear me.
Look,
I'll always take advantage of getting to make fun of Brett. Love you, buddy.
Who wouldn't?
Thank you. All right, I think that's going to wrap up our show tonight. Thank you for watching and hanging out with us on Twitch. Thank you for watching on YouTube or listening via your favorite podcast app. We'll see you next time.
We all raise our hand.